This set of lecture material covers analytical writing. In particular, we are moving this week from reader response to analysis and supporting that analysis. You have some options on how you approach your analysis for major paper number 2. Historically, or in a literary sense, looking at literary devices. And as we move from a more personally styled paper to a more academically styled paper, I do have a reading for you guys. It's called Critical Thinking in College Writing. And it's meant to guide you a little bit from that personal writing to the more academic writing that analysis encourages. So make sure that you read that. It is posted in our week 5 module. Okay, moving on. I just want to try to give you guys an analogy so that you have something to think about while you're going through this set of lecture material. Now, when you are analyzing something, you're looking at something big and trying to find little tiny parts to then look at more closely. So it's like when you've got a big old night sky in front of you and you have a million stars. Perhaps you choose just one star because of its brightness, its size, its location, its position in relation to everything else. Maybe it's got a shade of color to it. Maybe it's a little bit more yellow than the others, right? And then if we were to get a telescope, we could zoom in more closely and we could look at its particular parts. Sometimes with a really good telescope, you can see the rings on a planet, or you can see a little bit more definition of what you're looking at. Right. So when we're looking at the night sky, we have that ability to choose one element, get a closer look, and then we can go into more detail about it. And if we were to do some studying, we could probably determine what star it is and if it's got any known attributes or qualities. We can do something similar with literature. Again, we're taking something very big and we're going to try and look at its individual parts and then look even more closely at those individual parts to see if we can come up with greater meaning or enhanced meaning or messages that are implied or issues of character or setting or tone or style that are implied that other people might not see unless they do as deep a reading as we're doing. So analysis really does apply to literature in a very similar way to what we do when we're looking at the stars at night. Okay, so I want you to go through that process of looking more closely at individual aspects, specific aspects, and how it can relate to text. Okay. As you go through this lecture material, keep in mind that you can always contact me with questions, and there is a lecture check at the end, so don't forget to complete that.